I'm back today with my vintage off-road wrecker, and I need to go through the air compressor system and change it up a little bit. I've added an air locker in the rear, and after the events this summer that I need to finish, I'm going to add one to the front axle as well. Let's take a look at the changes I've made so far. I've made a lot of changes to the air system since you first saw me install the compressor. If you remember, I installed the air compressor underneath the seat, and right now I do not have my inflator that was next to the seat working. This is the one that we used at the off-road games last year. Currently, I just have a single hose that runs through the body and into my headache rack, which is now an air tank. This entire roll bar now acts as an air tank and is filled with air, so I have a port that you can plug in a hose on each side in the same position. There's one over here and a matching one on the passenger side. If I connect a pressure gauge to this, you can see there's about 30 pounds of pressure in there right now, and if I turn the pump on, it's surprising how fast it airs up. You can see the pressure is increasing quite quickly. So I think the headache rack is going to work great as my air tank, and I'm not adding any extra weight that I don't need. And I can also pre-fill the tank here at the shop before I leave. That way all the little compressor has to do is maintain the pressure. I think this is going to work really well. So as I said, I don't have this port plumbed to anything right now, and I also no longer have my solenoid that activates the rear air locker installed. And I'm intending to add another one that works the front locker, and I'm thinking about doing that with one of these ARB manifolds. I gotta be honest, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was from the pictures on the website, but I think this will work. These manifolds come with 2 ports that you can use with standard pipe fittings, and then 2 ports that you can plug solenoids into. Let's figure out where to mount this, and then after that I think I'm going to try to do the rest of the system in this DOT air pipe. I think that will make installation and maintenance a whole lot easier. And by the way, if you didn't know, this standard DOT air pipe is different from the air pipe that ARB uses for the air lockers. What ARB uses is a 3mm pipe, and this is a non-standard size. You pretty much have to order this pipe and any fittings that go along with it straight from ARB, because you're not going to find it at your normal places like McMaster-Carr or something like that. This is a very non-standard size, unfortunately. I will still be using this for my air lockers, but I'm going to convert everything else to the DOT size. I chose to put the manifold here. My first solenoid is down there. The second one will go up here when I get it, and the air that runs into the manifold is going to come through this stainless hose. And I think using stainless here is the big trick, because this compressor gets very hot. All of the ARB compressors run hot, and these can get up to 300 degrees. The DOT piping is only rated to about 200 degrees, so this is the one spot that I'm going to use a braided hose, and that's from the compressor to the manifold, allowing things to cool down a little bit before it gets distributed elsewhere. So I'll connect this right here, and then we can move to getting the air from the manifold out to my tank. The stainless hose is installed. Now I'm going to put in one of these DOT compression fittings. These already come with sealant on the threads. I've put a small length of pipe in, and then a T. This end of the T can run to the outlet that's by the seat, and then this end of the T is going to run up to the tank in the back of the truck. I probably don't need this outlet under the seat anymore, but it's here, so I'm going to hook it up, and you never know when you're going to need something like that. I have everything hooked up. This runs outside to the tank. This runs up here to the outlet. Let's turn the pump on and check for leaks. I think I forgot to tighten the bottom of the stainless hose. And because now everything is using these compression fittings, I can just move everything out of the way easily, reconfigure things when things go wrong, and I can also buy parts at any truck stop. Let's try it again. Okay, pressure's starting to come up. Stop it at 20. Sounds like I have a leak coming from here, so I need to tighten this up a little bit. I've got that tightened up now, and I don't hear any other leaks. We're still holding just under 20 psi. Let's test the solenoid with this little temporary switch. When I turn it off, you can see it blows a puff of air out. So it looks like the solenoid is working. Let's let the compressor run and fully fill that tank. And we'll use the infrared camera to see how hot this compressor actually gets. We're going to be starting from just about 10 psi. So it looks like this compressor goes to about 95 psi. If we quickly get the camera on it, looks like the hottest part of it is about 178 degrees. Our stainless steel hose there, that's gotten up to 103 degrees. Still fine for that nylon pipe, but this compressor was only running for about a minute to fill that tank. It'd be running much longer to fill up some really big tires. Still right now, 165 degrees at the compressor. These compressors run very hot, and I've heard that the dual compressor units run even hotter. I don't have a lot of room left on the dashboard, so I've decided to put the switch for the lockers right here. And I've wired the switch so that in one position it activates the rear locker, and in the other position it activates both the front and rear locker. And to do that, I've had to use a diode because I do not want it to activate the front locker when I am only activating the rear. So when it's in the position for the rear locker, the current can only travel one direction and does not turn on the front locker. I have a lot going on the dashboard right now, but I think I've kept it to a nice vintage feel for everything. So now here's the locker. If I hit it up, we can hear that the rear one was activated. If I push it down, again the rear one was activated. So now my wiring is already run as well for the front one. So once I get my front air locker installed, I can just hook up the wiring and it's good to go. I think the wrecker is now ready for its next recovery. So if you want to see more videos like this, comment below and click subscribe.